Welcome back to Gallagher Shots. It's ExtraTyne. My name is Emil. Jess is here.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, we should get you to introduce them more.
Yeah, about that.
Oh no, for real. I feel like I need to give you like some sort of more of an introduction.
Well, I'm off next week, but maybe it's the week after.
I can't believe we've started booking holidays in for YouTube videos. It just doesn't seem right.
It's my bloody birthday. I'm allowed.
You're not doing out. It's all right.
I know.
Yeah, December the 3rd. Woo! Can't wait. Yes, welcome along, and thank you so much for joining us. It's been another wonderful week at Newcastle. And we've got two very happy customers of the black and white world. Yes, we've got Simon. Simon's here. Simon Gallagher. Simon, what's your ex like? What culture NUFC kind of deal?
Lots of things. I used to work on the back page, which is where most people know me from.
Of course.
And I also used to be on NUFC Fans. I was on the podcast, and then I was the one who ran the Twitter account into the ground.
Oh, and then when that takeover didn't happen, it was almost like everyone got the hopes up for nothing.
Exactly.
I do sometimes look back at NUFC Fans just to see if anything's going on, and I think there's nothing prior to the day that the takeover got called off. It was just like,
oh well.
But, it'll be back. It'll be back one day when another takeover story comes, and we've got Abby as well.
Hello.
Hi, Abby. Thanks for coming on. And Abby, what are you most famous for?
Oh, I don't know.
Drinking.
Drinking.
Yeah.
Might see in the George or something like that. That's it. Yeah.
Usually Rafferty's. That's about it.
But Rafferty's okay, right? We'll go for that. We're all right. We can mix with them. But yeah, the chances are anyone who comes on these videos I've probably come across in a pub somewhere. So that seems to be the clientele that we mix with. But all Newcastle fans, all the same. Like I say, it's been a weird 7 days as a Newcastle fan. We started off early morning on a Saturday, fresh and bright, didn't we, Jess? And we thought this is going to be a crap day, and it was, and it really was. Yeah. Were you kind of just did you feel anything after that game? I didn't.
No, I mean, like obviously we did instant reaction, and I think we were both just a little bit deflated. I think is deflated the right word, but I don't know. Because it was expected, I think I was kind of just numb to it, like, and I think the scoreline flattered us.
Yeah, so, no, I think we covered kind of all bases with that one, but it's weird. I just kind of shut off from all reactions to the game afterwards. Yeah, Sam, did you throw anything at all?
I did. I got quite angry, but
yeah,
As much as it was expected, I go into every Newcastle game like an idiot, expect to win every single time. And the whole narrative before that game was, oh, well, this is a difficult game for Chelsea. It's always a difficult place to come. But we're not the same as we were last season, even under the same regime. And the thing that gets us angry now, not just about the performance, is the reactions to the performance, not from us, not from Newcastle fans, from everybody else, because they barely pause to criticize at all. They don't stop with their, oh well, Steve Bruce is actually doing a really good job. They should probably start tempering their expectations a bit. And it was happening straight after the game, and the people like Jermaine Genius, fair play to him. He's got a job as a pundit now.
Well done.
And before the game, they were saying things about Newcastle that were just demonstrably wrong. Like, turn around and watch the game. That's happening behind you on the pitch. And then at halftime, they were asked to voice opinions on what had happened and to go back on what they'd said. And they were let off far too easily. And they didn't hammer them after the game. And I understand that's not how professional punditry works. But wouldn't you just like it once for them to just pull them over the coals? We need
to get Jeremy Paxman in there. Broke up because I think Skype just censored Jeremy Paxman's name there. It was quite strange. It went very excited. Probably thought you were about to say Corbyn or something like that. God, we're getting taken down by all angles here. Yeah, I mean, I like Joe Cole's hat. That's about it.
Yeah,
that was all I liked. Nice little hat there. Abby, did you feel deflated before and after?
I have for a while now. It's
right.
like especially in this lockdown when it's the only thing you've got to look forward to is to watch football, and you have to watch that. It's just depressing. Like, I'm like that. I go in where I'm positive, but how much more can you take? Where, like, you can't even go to the pub and have a pint with your mate and slag them off after. It's just like there's nothing enjoyable about it at all. It just ruins your weekend.
Yeah, and they keep putting us on early as well. Jess has just left in disgust at the state of the football at Newcastle. It always happens. One week or another, we'll lose someone halfway through, and that's just because of Steve Bruce. It's the vocal minority here who are obviously complaining about him. But yeah, I mean the stats were awful. I don't know if anyone saw them, but we had the shots were now 20th. The touches in the box were now bottom of it. Hello, welcome back, Jess.
Sorry.
Passes into the final third. We were 20th. I think we might have moved into 19th with the shots. So progress at least for Steve. But yeah, I mean, Jess, we mentioned it the other week. We said we were top of the tables in the first in terms of teams that weren't doing stuff, and now they've shown us the other side of being the worst in those positions. It doesn't seem to change, does it?
No, sorry, I've just missed the last
Steve Bruce. That was all.
Yeah, I mean, time's up. Like I think the last maybe 3 weeks or something now, we've said this. Like, surely that has to be it. When it has to come to a point where they're like, right, enough is enough. But I think we've been at that point now for weeks. Well, not even weeks. I'd say probably longer. But the stats don't lie. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got absolutely nothing. The best goalkeeper or whatever. Congratulations,
second best goalkeeper as well. That's the thing. It's like it's whoever's in the net's going to have a really tough job, and it's just not great. But there was a few things that I saw before the lineup started. And it came out. Well, when I saw the lineup, just get to it, Mill. Simon, was there anything at all that you could maybe say was a positive from the players that maybe started? The fact that we had maybe Hayden in there, Kieran Clark being back, anything at all that you would say, right, that was working a bit better, maybe take that to the next one, or is it just lost cause?
The problem is that before that lineup, well, when the lineup came out, it looked better. Which was the problem, because then the performance wasn't any better. Having Hayden in there is good, as long as he plays well. And he didn't have a good game. I mean, nobody made a good account of themselves. The only person that did is probably Almiron, and that was for about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
The rest of it was like that. None of them can do any of the most basic of things at the minute. Like, they can't pass the ball.
That's it.
Terrible. And then. The difficult thing about it is that Alan Saint-Maximin is by far our best player, most talented player we've had since Hatem Ben Arfa, and he's going the exact same way that Ben Arfa did, not just in terms of on the pitch, but in terms of what our fans are saying about him. Because that Steve Bruce mentality gets in your head, and you're like, well, he's not working hard, is he? He's not doing what he should be doing. Look at him stand over there. He's got 3 players on him, but he's isolated. He's got nothing. Nobody's passing to him, because if they try to, they can't do it. And then he's the one that's getting blamed because he's not changing every game. But, like, you can't carry a team that heavy on your back when they're all, like, lame players. Yeah. I don't see it. Like, I like the fact that we've got structure. That's the one thing. Like,
sorry, I like how we just got to the answer there. There's so much, but yeah, no, you're right. It's like it's very hard to find anything at all.
We're good at having banks of players, but like we're totally immovable. That's not like we don't transition in tactics. When we've got the ball, it's not like the banks break and we move. It's just 5 and 5. That's it.
Yeah. And Abby, I don't know what your thoughts were about Wilson being rested. Obviously, it's led to him being fit enough for the next game, but maybe that was that maybe the one wise decision, or should we have just gone to hell with it? Let's try and get something.
I can kind of understand why, because if you did play him, then he would get stick, because he's had stick for playing injured players before. And if you did play him, I guarantee he would be as isolated as he has been. So what's the point? Like, I don't know if he's going to change it up against Palace, but if he does, it might work then. But previous games, he's just been up front on his own. So what's the point?
Yeah, it certainly looks like it's
understand why I didn't start him.
It looks like it's going to be a bit of a thriller against Palace, so maybe Callum Wilson will want to get amongst that goal fest. But yeah, I mean, we spoke about it on Saturday, Jess, the fact that injured players were coming on. I mean, it actually happened in action. Lascelles walked onto the pitch injured and then got taken off before the game got back underway. It was just bizarre, and you just wonder, what are people saying? And again, I don't think it's actually been cleared up what happened. But the main takeaway from the game, something that I mentioned to you guys earlier, was that throw-in. That throw-in was vile, an offensive piece of football that I don't think I've ever want to watch again. And I wanted to know from you guys, what would be better than having to watch that piss-poor throw-in in an attacking position that somehow got back to Carl Darlow's feet when we're 2-0 down against Chelsea at home. Now, for me, I'm just going to go straight out there. I'm going to say both of my divorced parents shagging in front of me.
Oh my God.
I'd rather see that than that throw-in again.
Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that at all.
So, my mum and dad don't watch these videos. If they do, I'm screwed. But I mean, we're talking about that, so never mind.
Dear God.
Yeah, I set the bar high, but I hate that throw-in so much.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I saw it shared about 1 million times, and I watched it once, and that was enough. Like, it's just absolutely.
Just to check, you didn't switch to what I've just mentioned, did you?
No.
Just in case.
No.
Something better on the other side.
No, have you ever seen the film The Room?
God. Right. I think Simon, you'll have watched this many times, I would say.
I've seen it. Yes. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hey, Mark. I'd rather watch that, which says a lot. Or I'd rather watch Boris tell us that I'm going to be in lockdown for my birthday. Like, just anything.
Anything at all. Yeah. Yeah. Abby, what about you?
Well, I'm on the same length as Jess here, where I'd rather watch a bumbling Boris press conference.
Well, no one's going to be on the same length as me, to be honest. But Jess has gone again, so I don't know what's going on. But just a bumbling Boris press conference over and over again on repeat, telling you what you can and can't do.
Yeah, telling us to go to work, but not go to work. We'll go to work, but not go to work.
Yeah. It'd be like a Stockholm syndrome. It'd be coming
like a little remix of it
by the end. And Si, what about yourself?
It's not quite on the level of it's not quite on the level of incestuous voyeurism like you, Emil, but I'm
incestuous
like you. It's topical. I've got two actually. One of them is whatever tactical masterclass Steve Bruce gives them all to get to that point, repeatedly. And we found out today that Mrs. Brown's Boys is on Christmas Day twice this year. So that, like, back to back.
So pleased that got a mention. It was worth it. Mrs. Bruce's Boys is what we should start calling it. You know, we'd rather watch a bit of Mrs. Brown than that. Oh God, I mean, even Ant and Dec got involved with the digs.
Yes, they did.
It was pretty bold of the lads, you know, that they've taken to ITV's prime time slot to start aiming at Steve Bruce, so that all of the mums on Twitter can know that there's no plan B. I absolutely
There's no plan B, man.
There's no plan B at all, and even if there was, we wouldn't know how to use it, would we?
About it, Emil. Imagine the Sunderland fans watching that.
Yes.
Newcastle are getting mentioned, isn't that?
Yeah. And we didn't even say them by name. That's the thing. It just said football. A certain twang. There you go. But then I saw that Sunderland fans were getting rattled at a fans DVD getting released. So just like to get angry at things. And they're probably, if there's any Sunderland fans watching this, which there will be, you're probably getting rattled at this as well. So I'll just shake the camera for you. There you go. Make you feel just at home. Thank you for your would you rathers. Clearly, I'm not in a good frame of mind when it comes to that. So
I know.
I'm absolutely fine. I thought I would try and go extreme to make a statement, so that maybe it'll get brought up in Steve Bruce's press conference. So look what this fan would rather do, Steve. I want to go in as George Colkin's case study and say, look at this.
The other week they were going to set up a GoFundMe to get me a desk, but I think we're going to set up one to get therapy for you.
That's yeah. Well, I'll settle for a desk, to be honest.
Help a meal.
Help a meal. Come down from this awful throwing. But I wanted to try and get away from the bad news now, which was just that entire game, and go to the good news that two ex-managers of Newcastle United have got jobs. A bit like Jermaine, you might say, Si. Start off with Steve McLaren. He has been appointed, which is my favourite part. He's been appointed by the Bin Zayed Group, who were in talks to buy Newcastle United, of course, as their technical director. How do you think that one works, Si?
I don't know, but I did a little bit of research on this. If you think about it, ex-Newcastle managers managed to fall on their feet in these terms of jobs. So Glenn Roeder is in fact, or was up until 2018, a managerial consultant. Despite the fact that all of his manager's jobs...
Jess's face says it all.
Same way.
What is what?
Souness is a respected, not a pundit, but a respected pundit. I don't understand.
No.
Kevin Keegan, the shoes that he wears, by the way. That's the shoes that he wears, Souness, with that weird, like, inch and a half of white and then just a tiny bit of black on top. Yeah, well, Kevin Keegan's not been on TV for ages, but is that not just his? That's not just his shy and retiring nature.
He probably doesn't want to be associated with us.
No, he wouldn't want to set foot in the ground, would he? So we get given all the players who we don't necessarily like anymore. But yeah, I guess technical director at Derby, how to operate umbrellas, something like that. Do you think that that's a bullet dodged, Abby? The fact that it was the group that was potentially going to get us, and that just goes to show that they maybe didn't know what they were on about.
No, we were going to get Pochettino, weren't we? That was already set in stone. That.
Yeah, I know. Either way.
To be honest, I don't know how he's managed to get a job. I don't know how half the people. I think they just make half the roles up. I mean, Shola Ramiobi's a loan director. Like, what does that mean? Like, honestly, I've got no idea what half.
I think that just got lost in communication with when the press release came out, and Shola Ramiobi, because he was so in with them, actually got signed up by Wonga to be payday loans director. It's nothing to do with the academy, because he's not been seen around Benton or anything like that for ages. He's just there dishing out payday loans. Him and on the phone, so it'd be great.
I have a theory on that, Emil.
Oh, go on.
I think he turned up for a job and they said, Shola, man, can you not just leave us alone?
Right.
Get in for a job. Now, don't manager of Newcastle.
That might have to be the title of this week's show. As a Lord. Maybe that is it. But again, at Newcastle United, probably might happen. And then the other man, Alan Pardew, has gone to CSKA Sofia. Now, the best part of this is that team is the army, as I've been hearing. This is the army of Bulgaria. Alan Pardew at the helm with his sexy, thick-rimmed glasses. So I'm wondering, is it going to be like the next war comes along in Bulgaria, or do we just down tools if we start losing the first half of it? I mean, how the hell's he? What has he got on Bulgaria, Jess?
I don't know. I was a bit dumbfounded when I found out. So what is he actually being appointed as? He's
the director of football, therefore the director of the army.
Well, I mean, like, I don't have anything to say about that. Like, I don't really.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
That's the word, bizarre. Like,
someone's gone on YouTube from CSKA Sofia and said, we must buy Alan Pardew. And they've seen that video that he does, which is his masterclass of how Newcastle beat Man United. And they've thought this is the greatest man
the video of him dancing, that gif of him dancing.
Yeah,
he's the one.
That over some sort of like Soviet music, and it just makes it look cool. The good news is Alan Pardew's had a great start to life there. CSKA Sofia lost at home 1-0 to Young Boys tonight, which I've just popped on Twitter. So the Pardew effect in full force there. But seeing as so many ex-managers are getting jobs in football, this is where I come to my next question tonight, which is, if you were to put an ex-manager into any job at all, not necessarily football, what would it be and why, Jess?
I had an absolute ball coming up with these. Like,
with that one. Go on then.
This is brilliant. So I think Graham Souness would be a traffic warden.
Right.
Because he's just a proper bitter old bastard, and like he just go around just dishing them out just to piss people off because he wants to bring people down to his miserable level.
Yeah. Paul Pogba's car parked outside Old Trafford.
Yeah, just whacking them on the windscreen.
Yeah, taking great pride in that. Did you, Si? Did you? I'll go to Si. I'll get one.
Yeah.
I did. So do you know? Like, I don't know if anybody's got any rough family, but
find some
in these circles. There's nothing wrong with rough families, by the way. You always know somebody who knows how to get tabs or get DVDs.
Yeah.
Like, if you need them, this person.
Uncle.
And that's John Carver.
I've literally got that written down. John Carver sells knockoffs in the club.
Yeah, 100%.
Literally.
Well, could I just add another like sphere to his life? Say that's maybe the stuff that he does on the side, but I felt as though that he could be like the angry bus driver for a school bus as well.
Oh yeah.
Like he's caught smoking just between shifts, and like he'll blame the kids.
Yeah.
Like he's Mike Williams for getting sent off. You know, he's just there. I used to have a bus driver on my school bus. He had a water pistol, and he used to like squirt like people at the back seat. It was crazy.
Oh my god!
Well, it was quite funny because we all thought it was class, but then one day he started doing it while the bus was still parked in the bays at the school, and the deputy head came over and said, "Stop that now." Lo and behold, the Super Soaker was never seen again. Abby, did you have an ex-manager for us?
I do. I've got Steve McLaren as a substitute teacher, but a teacher that gets bullied by his students.
Definitely.
They make him do the homework for them.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And I've got well, it's not a job role, but I've got Alan Pardew as in a Wayne Lineker type role.
Right.
An Ocean Beach.
That's just
grey-haired man who walks around
in Bulgaria now.
Doing his little dance at Ocean Beach. I can actually picture it now.
What's everyone's favourite Alan Pardew story? Because I've got one that my mate told me when he was in a club once, and he saw him in a toilet. I think it was up in Ponteland, and you probably think this is going to go the way it's not going to go. It's not going to go that way. He saw him, and Sweet Home Alabama was playing, and apparently Alan Pardew was whistling along, washing his hands. My mate's quite big on his classic rock. He said, "Oh, hi, Mr. Pardew. Do you like Lynyrd Skynyrd then?" And I think he just kind of looked a bit blank-faced. For anyone who doesn't know, that's who sings Sweet Home Alabama. He said, "Oh, what kind of music do you like then?" He said, "Oh, I like hip-hop and Jay-Z and things like that." And I just thought, of course you do.
Oh, God.
You're in the car, aren't you? So did you put your hand up there? So it was like, we're doing like
cool. Very formal.
Yeah.
I think you have to say allegedly in a lot of this story, but not like problematically. You're not going to get like.
I hope this is the one that I'm thinking of.
It's from his West Ham days,
right?
So it might be. And he was allegedly having a relationship with somebody that he probably shouldn't have been, and for some reason was writing out letters. He's a romantic, but the best thing about it was these letters were about his tactics.
Right.
I don't understand why. And in them, he was talking about how they beat somebody, which is a thing that comes up quite often. And it was he referred to Marlon Harewood as, "This is our castle, and Marlon Harewood is our strongest soldier." And the idea of him trying to seduce somebody through a letter by referring to Marlon Harewood as his strongest soldier, allegedly, is just.
Oh.
He got away with that so much. That came out just before he came to Newcastle, and then nobody did anything about it.
Are you telling me that that Alan Pardew's letters were the source material for the final series of Game of Thrones?
Pretty much.
Is that what it was? Well, I mean, there's also my other favourite story is the time that Alan Pardew was on Match of the Day. The last time that Alan Pardew was also on Match of the Day. I won't repeat what he said. I'll let you go on YouTube that one later, because my God, you could watch it for hours on end on repeat. It is wonderful, wonderfully horrid as well.
I can't remember it.
Oh well, you can Google it.
Yeah.
I won't be repeating it on here.
I can't remember it.
Let's just say that's not what I would call a tackle. And we'll leave it there.
God!
There you go. The penny drops. Yes,
I remember.
We can't do that on ExtraTyne. It's going to be on this platform. If you're on YouTube right now, you'll be able to find it. I was trying to think if there was anyone else, but I was maybe thinking like, I know Shearer's not a bad manager, and he was given a really bad hand, but I feel like Alan Shearer was perhaps the teacher that just stuck a film on. He'll let you do what you want. He'll be like, you're going down anyway. Bottom set, and he'll put Stand By Me on and say, look, you'll put Stand By Me on. This will teach you a lesson about life, guys, in case you ever find a dead body. Looking at you, Michael Owen, and stuff like that.
Sorry.
He doesn't watch films, Michael Owen. He wouldn't.
He doesn't.
That's why Shearer sent him out. He said, Michael, if you're not going to watch this film I've brought in for you, you can go and stand in the hall. And he did that quite gladly and made a brochure about himself. What were you going to say, Jess?
I was going to say I had Joe Kinnear as well. Do you know them like meat vans, but the raffles?
Yes.
When
he shoots in the pig stick.
That's literally what I was going to say. That's exactly who I was thinking of. I feel like with his headset on, like having a bit of banter with everyone on the thing, chucking in freebies. I think he would be working like doing a meat raffle or doing like the meat draw in the club. There's
and everyone losing the bag for £7. It's oh my god! It's 4.
He's going around the club doing the meat draw, and then John Carver's following him with loads of nice DVDs in his bag.
Oh my god! Newcastle has become a working men's club. It's brilliant. That's fantastic.
Alan Pardew's in the toilet selling spray dupe.
Yeah. Alan Pardew's in the toilets, and I don't know. I'm trying to think who else would be involved.
Rude Hullett selling shots.
I was just about to say Rude Hullett. That's really strange. I was just about to say Rude Hullett. Yeah,
Sorry.
Rude Hullett's a shot girl.
Yeah.
Either that or Rude Hullett's the guy who goes and sells you the pictures with the key rings on. He'll take your photo and he'll charge you
VIP.
this picture of you looking absolutely suzzled because you'll love it.
And you think, yes, I'll have 5. I'll buy one for me, mum.
I am VIP. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Did anyone have any more to throw in? Well, I think we've exhausted our options. I was hoping someone was maybe going to come in with like Joe Harvey or something like that, given the way that Johnny, who was on last week, was delving into the history books of Newcastle players from the 30s and the 40s. But I think our managers of recent years have certainly given us lots to talk about. I'm not going to go back to him, but I've actually got just written, which I forgot to say, John Carver, dinner lady.
What do you mean though? Like, do you mean dinner lady who like serves the food, or like the one on the yard?
I thought maybe like the nanny, yeah, like not quite there. High vis, but then it morphed into a bus driver who just took the piss. So it's hard to tell.
I feel like if he was the bus driver, he'd confiscate your tabs and then smoke them.
I reckon he would be like the useless deputy head. He's coming from a different school. He's the big head, but the headmaster.
Bobby Big Head.
Just do a full school of Newcastle teachers, to be honest. One for the future. But yeah, speaking of the future, we are looking ahead. Unfortunately, very soon we're all going to be in tears. That's because we have to sit through Newcastle United on a Friday night playing against Crystal Palace. Last 3 games have been early to get them out the way. Jess, do you prefer it when it's like that? Because then we can just rip the plaster off and then get about it.
I do, yeah. Like I said it last week, it's just like get over and done with. It's disappointed you. Enjoy your weekend. Or if it goes the other way, you can think about it for the rest of your weekend, celebrate for the rest of your weekend.
Newcastle win would go a long way for a lot of people at the minute, but I just don't think it's going to happen. This is your chance, Steve, to fix things. Simon, you shook your head massively there. Don't like the early games.
I hate it. I hate it whenever they are. But in particular, I hate the early games because the only good thing about early games was being able to go out straight after.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And now, like a cloud of just misery just descends over me for like days. My Twitter goes from being just like weird to being angry and sad for like days. And then I look back a couple of days later, I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah. It's so true. And you know what? There's always, despite everything, despite it all, there's an air of positivity. Like you were saying about the Chelsea thing. Like maybe like half an hour before, you see the lineup and you think, all right, it's Palace. Abby, are you at all getting that feeling, or is it just completely gone already?
I always try and be positive, but it's really hard at the minute. I don't think it's going to be a very thrilling game to watch. I'm going to say a draw.
Yeah.
And that's me being hopeful.
Right. Straight in with the predictions there. Abby's done with talking about this game. She don't want to talk.
This is over.
But I was going to ask, what do you think about the news that Zaha is missing? Because if this game had not been on the Friday night, he would have been playing on the Saturday, and we've got a bit of a lucky escape there.
Yeah. Apparently, I didn't watch their game against Burnley, but apparently they missed him. And they were terrible. So it's a positive for us, and we've got Wilson back as well, which is another positive. So you never know.
Are we employing the classic thing of like we beat them and Burnley beat Palace, so that means that Palace, we're definitely better than them.
That's all we're hang on to at the minute.
Yeah, that's how some people place their bets, to be honest. But yeah, he's not there. But Jess, do you think it makes a blind bit of difference if Zaha's not there, or are there still threats because of like Van Aanholt and whoever else?
I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think it matters who we line up against. It's how we line up, and the way we're lining up isn't good enough to play anyone at the minute. So I'd like when I saw that he was out, I can't remember who it was, but I saw someone tweet about it, and I was like, good. But then I thought, but we're talking about Newcastle United here, and I watched Newcastle United. I've been watching Newcastle United for God knows how long, but this season especially, and especially the last few weeks, just absolutely dreadful.
Yeah. Well, we said it about Southampton, and Ings being out. I was like, oh, fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. That
didn't make any difference. Chelsea, I think we've had so many teams where we've gone into games thinking they've not got their best player, they're not at their best. Like United managed to beat us 4-1 despite that. So it doesn't make any difference. Bruce's press conference said that my favourite quote of it: "We've got 2 or 3 players isolating apparently."
How do you not know?
We might have a third. But again, it sent Twitter into a mass panic. But Simon, have you got any guesses as to who those 3 might be?
Well, it'll be players that he's being pressured into playing that he doesn't want to play. I wouldn't believe for 1 minute there's only 3 of them that need to be isolating. So I would think Hayden will be one of them because he got pressure to play him and then he came back and he wasn't very good. There was some detective work going on today.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And they worked out that it was probably Emil Kraft or Andy Carroll because he missed training. But when does Andy Carroll train all the time? Like, that would be just suicide. And Aiden was the other one. And I think it's probably likely to be them, but it doesn't matter. Fundamentally, like, the only person that the 3 people would make a difference is if it's Mon Dubravka, Carl Darlow, and whatever kid is. Oh, it's Gillespie's name, third Mark Gillespie. Yeah, Gillespie. Then it would be 12 or 13-0. Everybody else is interchangeable at the minute because none of them are doing their job. So what does it matter? That's a thought for you, isn't it?
I like the idea that the keepers have got their own little bubble and they've somehow all managed to get infected in the same week, just despite one of them being out for weeks. I was going to say it was just going to be like an ex-player, and Bruce forgot that we didn't have them anymore. Like Jack Colback's still isolating. He's been isolating for like the last year or so.
I did enjoy the detective work though. Like people were like,
I've not seen it. What happened? Because is this like plane tracking again?
It was like people were looking at photos from training, and then there was I seen one where there was a picture of Matty Longstaff and no one had seen Sean, and people were like, yeah, but surely they live together. So if he's isolating, then surely he's going to be out. And I was like, oh.
Sean's got his house, surely. I
think people are thinking that because the brothers, they're like 10 and 11-year-old, they're like the big lads, but yeah.
So Abby, you mentioned it was going to be a draw against Palace. Do you think it'll be a game where it is snatched from us, or do you reckon that we might nick it ourselves?
I think it might be a snatch from this one because I can see us playing better than Chelsea. And it happens often where we're playing like all right, and then they just need at the end of the like second half maybe they just go in, and I don't know what he says to them. But it's like a different team. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but
yeah. Hey, what are you going to put a score in it, or is it 2?
I'd say 1-1.
1-1. All right.
A lot of games coming up, winnable games, and he's used an excuse of where we've played a lot of, the top teams. So now this is his chance.
Yeah.
To show what we actually can do. And
it's a very important run, as you say. I think a lot of people were saying like the next 6 games are the games where we have to make it count. I don't know if anyone else did it, but I did the Chronicles kind of predictor, just to see what it was going to be like, and it gave you every team. And we were actually 13th, and I was being completely honest there. I allowed us to lose a few games. I'm normally a little bit biased with those things, but looking at it, I thought we still did all right. And the likes of Sheffield United weren't getting much luck, and Burnley, I know they won the other day, but again, they weren't either. But those teams have still got to come good, whereas we've kind of had our good, which was that one game against West Ham and Burnley. Si, what do you think is going to be the game?
You've hit on a salient point there, Emil, and it's that we can't get up our hopes for Steve Bruce getting sacked. We're not allowed to because we're Newcastle fans. So the reality is that he's gone through his worst patch for a while because we've had terrible results, terrible performances. What's going to happen now is he'll squirm his way to a victory against Crystal Palace. Everybody's opinions will change for the weekend, where we'll be like, do you know what? It might not be all that bad. And then all of the pundits will say, look, what were they complaining about? Mm-hmm. They've won a game. They're 13th or 12th, whichever, I think. And then he'll hold on to it, and we'll get one more point until Christmas. And then by Christmas, by the new year, they'll look at it and they'll think, well, we'll keep him until January. We'll see what he does in the transfer window. He'll do nothing in the transfer window, and he'll get sacked in about March, and we'll get relegated. I don't think we'll get relegated, but that's the trajectory of the season. It's down and then up a tiny little bit every now and then down again.
It is. Same thing happened last season, though, didn't it? We had the games where we'd lose 5-1 or 5-0 against Leicester, and then we beat Man United at home. It didn't do it. But it feels to me as though those games are long gone now, because in those games last season, we actually looked like we might do something.
He's got one thing. It's Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
Callum Wilson can score out of nothing. Look at the goals he's scoring. He's not even getting this, like, nobody's getting assists, basically. He's just popping up and nicking these goals in. And that, they'll say, is the difference between a good team and a bad team is a goal scorer. And he is.
Am I detecting a 1-0 win there from you, is it? Or
I will win 5-0, mate.
5-0. 5-0. Wilson scores all 5.
You heard it here first.
With no assists. He's doing that in honour of Diego Maradona, just creating goals out of nothing.
Exactly.
And there you go. That's ExtraTyne's claim to the man who once appeared on this video as well. By the way, Diego Maradona, close personal friend of mine. I once saw him in Sainsbury's. Anyone else want to claim Maradona? Because that seems to be the thing at the minute. No,
I've never.
Not in Bensham. Not seen him in Bensham.
Oh, actually, I saw him at the park. I thought it was him, but I wasn't too sure. But now you mention it. Yeah.
He walked past and he said to you, "Away the lads."
Yeah, he did. He was feeding the ducks, and he saw us walking along a mini Castle top, and he was like, "Go."
Yeah. He went.
I'll be in the Chronicle tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maradona and Saltwell Park shocker.
Jess, what's your prediction?
0-0.
Right.
0-0. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say who scores them goals.
Talking about players who might be isolated. Given the position that he's been playing, Wilson and the rest of the team.
Here it comes.
Might as well be him.
Yes. That was like that Simpsons meme. Anyone's going to say it. Yes. There it is. Have you been 0-0 for the last 3 weeks, Jess? To be fair.
Was I 0-0 last week? I'm pretty sure I said we'd get beat last week. Like.
Someone predicted it perfectly last week, and we normally get one. So I hope it's the 5-0 from Si. For me, I think I'm with you, Abby, on this one. I think 1-1, using Simon's prediction about Callum Wilson being the difference. But I think that we will be the ones that go ahead, and I think that we'll be sat there thinking, you'll be all sat on Twitter going, "Oh, it's class this." 85th minute, you'll get, who even plays for them anymore?
Van Aanholt.
I think it'll be Andros Townsend.
Oh
with
shit!
a free kick with his amazing hair that has grown, and his powers have got stronger.
Miraculous.
And yeah, when God knows.
Yeah,
God knows.
we might be on the other end of a shithousen result. Might come back to bite us on the arse.
I don't think Newcastle get shithoused because we're that bad.
We're just shit.
Exactly, we're just shit. There's no house.
There is no house. We've got the just for want of balance, because we mention it every week, Stephen Taylor. Right, that is all for ExtraTyne this week. This is probably one of the shortest ones we've done, simply because we're all so drained by the pain that is Newcastle losing. Hopefully win to start off next week, but as Simon says, we're not allowed to get excited about the prospect of another Newcastle loss potentially leading to the sacking of our glorious leader. So we'll leave it there. We are the vocal minority, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks for joining us, Abby. Thanks for coming on as well, Simon. Jess, I won't see you next week, but have a good birthday in Tier 3.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
As you one more time. And just to apologise to both of my parents as well.